Welcome back to my journey through the joy of painting. This is Series 2, Episode 1. This is the 14th painting in the whole entire project. The title of this painting is called Meadow Lake. I don't want to talk through this whole painting. I kind of just want the video to speak for itself in this one. But I do want to just impart on you something that Bob said that really stuck with me in this episode. So I'm going to quote him here and leave you with this. People continually say, I can't draw a straight line. I don't have the talent to do what you're doing. That's baloney. Talent is a pursued interest. In other words, anything that you're willing to practice, you can do. And this is no exception. Would help if I unmuted the mic. It's Friday. How we doing, everybody? It's Friday, February 25th. And we are here tonight celebrating the fact that in the morning, early in the morning, Where's My Refund is going to update for hundreds of thousands of tax filers Those of you that received that 846 refund issue code, provided Where's My Refund is working properly tonight, you should see the update. What's up there, Juggernaut? Welcome back. William, Justin, Desiree, Josh's Adventures, Genovia, Ken. How are we doing, everybody? I'm going to go through the comments, answer some of the questions that I see pop up here. Everybody excited? Those of you that know you're getting the update tonight. Hit Hard's in the house. What's up, man? Armenia's back. How you doing? So, little note for those of you who haven't had access to the transcripts and you've been waiting for a few weeks, maybe you've seen that still processing message. This could actually be the night for you. Maybe you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll see that there's an update for you as well. And I hope that's the case for a lot of people. It's tough to know. It's always tough to know for sure if you don't have access to your transcripts. All right. Looks like Juggernaut was the first one in the chat tonight. And you checked your transcript around 6 a.m. You had the 571 release code and the 846 with a direct deposit date for March 2nd. Who told everyone that the direct deposit was going to be March 2nd? I think it was this channel. Congratulations, Juggernaut. I'm happy that this is taken care of for you. The freeze was fairly quick. That's good. Justin wants to know, will they get the Where's My Refund update tonight? You filed February 10th and was accepted February 11th. As I said, if you don't have access to transcripts, it's kind of tough to know for sure. But, if there's nothing wrong with your return, there's no holds, you could see an update tonight. It would be very good to wake up in the morning and see that Where's My Refund have that 2 bars with a refund issue code from March 2nd. Everyone make sure you type in hello to my beautiful wife, Caitlin. She's in here monitoring the chat comments with me. And I see, from my end, I see that we have 13 likes right now on the video with 33 people watching. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please make sure you do. And if you are viewing and not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. There is a little bit of delay with my live stream. I know I keep saying this to people. There's a little bit of a delay. So sometimes the information I might be saying about likes or views is a little bit behind because they always delay it with me. Sometimes even a couple minutes. So, William Anderson, I filed January 24th, accepted the 26th, went straight to tax topic 152 for almost a month. Ouch. Well, if you're not mentioning transcripts, I'm assuming you don't have access to them. So it's tough to say what's going on without the transcript. But you might be in the same boat as Desiree, who is still sitting on the tax topic 152 with an NA on transcript for about a month. So sometimes what happens is these transcripts get like resequenced and kind of pushed to the back of the line. Usually it's because when the system is doing its initial checks on the return, something's getting flagged. So there could be a possibility that something is being reviewed before it gets put back in for final processing. And, we all know, hopefully, like you've been watching for a while, it's going to be those transcripts. Those transcripts are going to update on Fridays. So, if it's not this week, if you didn't get the update this week, hopefully you'll see it next week. And it's and then from there it moves along fairly quickly, provided there's no serious issues. Sometimes there's credits that people claimed, or like, for example, like the stimulus recovery rebate, or they do the earned income look back, or people do like both of those, which if people do the look back and the recovery rebate, a lot of times that will automatically get resequenced to the back because they're going to look, these new credits are kind of funky. So they look and double check that what people are claiming they actually have the entitlement to claim. And I don't know that you claimed either of those, but if you did or both, there's a high probability that could be part of the problem too. One of the problems I'm seeing with a lot of people is the advanced child tax payments that people got last year. If what they're reporting on their return didn't match up, that's also causing delays. Josh's Adventures also got accepted on January 25th and has had the delayed processing with the 152 as well. Cannot check the transcript because the IRS can't validate you. Ouch. So he is hoping tomorrow will say different. You got a fortune cookie tonight that said your financial situation will be established tomorrow. So, hey, I'm going to hope that you see that update tomorrow. And Genovia Jones asked, what's code 571? And Juggernaut answered for it. I see that in the chat. But the 571 code, if you guys have that on your transcript, that is a good code. That means that if you are being reviewed, the review has been lifted. The freeze has been lifted, and the next code you would see pop up to your transcript will be the 846 refund issue code with your direct deposit date. Now, sometimes that 571 code pops too late in the week for you to be issued a refund that week. All the finalized processing is done on Thursday. So if you had the 571 code, like if the review was being done on your return and the review was complete on Thursday, well, that would be too late in the week for them to process through the refund. So the refund would go on your transcript the following week. So next Friday, if you had the 571 this week and there was no 846 with it, then next week you should have the 846 code on your transcript. And that direct deposit date would be March 9th. Juggernaut has said this YouTube channel has been the best help that you could find. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad I could help people out. And there's certainly plenty of YouTube channels out there, and I'm glad you guys chose to follow this one. The OG tax YouTube channel, by the way. I've been doing this for 10 years. And I noticed something today that a lot of my stories not only have been copied over the past year or two, but some of my ideas of other things I do outside of that have been copied. I got a quick little laugh. I got a good little laugh today. This one here, I did not get Joseph. I didn't receive any change at all. What could be possibly going on? No update at all today. Joseph, did you check your transcripts? Or are you just speaking specifically about the where's my refund page? I'm not sure when you filed, how long you've been waiting, but hopefully you do see a update soon, one way or another, on either of those. But if it's been quite a while since you've seen an update, you're more than likely in review for something. So, Alfreda, I don't want to massacre people's names, but no update today. Still tax topic 152. Your transcripts are NA for 30 days. A lot of people seem to be in this boat. Hopefully by next week you have that NA transcript turned to a populated transcript and you can see what is going on with that situation. I spoke to a couple people today that actually talked to the IRS who were still NA after about a month, and they were told they're in review. RC Off-Road Racing wants to know, is this the Bob Ross channel? Wow, I just wanted to put a quick video up while I was doing my final preparations for the live stream tonight. It was only like a little 4-minute video, so I figured why not display a creation of the spanning over here, Meadow Lake. I hope someone who filed in January got good news. There are many people that filed in January that did see some positive updates today. I was going through some of the comments. There was a lot of people that had some positive comments. The Johnson family got an update March 2nd. Congratulations. Love to hear. when these things get settled. Blu-ray. I wonder why they disallowed my 1,400 of the 2,800 rebate they said I could have. Happy, but not because they took my credit. Well, that stinks. But probably whatever was reported on the return didn't match up with what they have on file themselves. So they are doing matching. They sent letters out that everyone was supposed to wait for that had what they reported on file for what they had on file for stimulus payments that were issued to you. So whatever you reported on your return was supposed to match that amount, and if it didn't, that was going to cause a review. They said it right in the letter. So the problem we run into is obviously if someone had like a dependent that was born in the year, they didn't get the stimulus for that dependent, so that would throw things off, and the IRS would have no way of knowing. And then they go ahead and they disallow that for no reason basically. Don Martinez wants to know when they're going to update the transcript. Well, there was a major update today. The next update would be next Friday. There will be some small updates throughout the week, but for the bulk of people who are O5 weekly batch processors, those updates will come next week. There's Caitlin saying hello to everyone in the chat. Sorry, like I said, my chat's a little bit behind everybody, so I'm getting through these. Don, you filed the February 9th, so it's still fairly early and you're still within that 21-day period, so nothing to worry about yet. I'd be worried. Yeah, I'd start worrying if you get into like the second week of March and you don't start not seeing any updates, or you do see the updates and then maybe you might see a freeze code if it's been that long. Like Tommy McGraw, who still has no 846 code. It's been 30 days since I filed. Got a hold of the IRS and they said there's nothing wrong. They're just delayed. So you're probably stuck in that backlog. Actually, that's probably exactly what it is. If you look at your transcript and there's no bad codes, there's no 570 or 420, then that's all it is. You're just stuck in the backlog. And likely you're probably going to see an update probably within the next couple of weeks if that's the case. Josh's Adventure says the wife is the true star of the channel. Well, she definitely helps a lot and gives me some great support. That is for sure. I love you, baby. Nikita Watson got the 846 and the 3-2 date. All right. Ashley Rains, 1983. I filed January 26th with TurboTax. Still waiting. Only 152 code. As I said, if you don't have access to the transcript, it's a little bit harder to tell you what's going on, but there's always that the potential you could see that update in the morning. You would always know for sure if you have that transcript update and you see that 846. Sevs G. I have NA on my transcripts with no DD. Delayed message on where's my refund, filed and accepted on the 26th. See, there is a lot of people in this situation, folks. At least you know you're not the only ones. I mean, it is definitely a headache, and I feel bad for you guys that have been waiting for this long. This is ridiculous. It seems to be a repeat of what happened last year, where there's this big batch of early filers that somehow have been lost in the shuffle. But if it has been this long, going on a month now without access to the transcripts, there's definitely something that forced it. There's definitely something when the system was doing its initial checks on your return that forced it to the back of the line. So there's almost certainly some sort of credit or deduction that you claimed that has forced into the back of the line. I don't know everyone's personal situations or tax situations, so I can't give you specifics, but I can just give generic statements about things that happen that tend to happen with certain credits claimed. Like I said at the top of the show, people that have claimed the look back credit, the recovery rebate, if what you're claiming doesn't match what's on file with the IRS, it's going to get pushed back and delayed. If you're claiming something that maybe you might that you shouldn't be claiming, and I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. The big problem is that the tax preparers, tax software, they're making the look back credit available to people to use their 2019 income for the earned income credit. And the fact is, if your credit for the current year doesn't meet the standards for earned income credit, then that look back credit isn't going to apply to you. That's going to cause your return to be delayed. They're going to disallow it and they're going to recalculate your return. That all takes time. So there's any number of things that could cause these delays for you. Okay, Herminia had the transcript finally available this morning. Got the refund adjusted, but still don't have a date. So hopefully now that it's been adjusted within the next update period, maybe next week, now that's been adjusted and taken care of, you'll get the update next week. What probably happened is you missed that cutoff. It was too late in the week when they made the fix. So you didn't make the cutoff for this batch of refunds. Get your eye on those comments there, honey.
Janae's place.
What's the question?
I have a 570 for 3 weeks now today. My as of date updated from 3/7 to 3/14 back to 3/14. No changes to my codes though. Do you have any clue why? Does this count as an update?
Did I miss something there? I don't see that comment. Sorry, guys. I'm just going. My wife's feeding me some comments, and I'm not seeing them on my list here, so I'm just trying to go through them. Yeah, I don't have that. Janae's place. All right. Okay, Janae's place. I have a 570 for 3 weeks today. My as of date updated from March 7th to March 14th, back to the 14th. No changes to the codes. Do you have any clue why? Does this count as an update? Technically, it does. So what's happened is whatever your hold is for, whatever that refund freeze is for, it's the system has when the system does a freeze, it sets an internal deadline, like an automatic deadline for itself. So in your case, when the 570 appeared, March 7th was the deadline. So the system sets this deadline to resolve the review. If the review isn't completed by March 7th, then they push that date back. They add a week or two onto it to give them the review department longer to complete the review. So when that date changed to the 14th, the review department or whatever probably didn't think they were going to be able to complete that review by March 7th. And then you said it went back to the 14th. Maybe you mean it went back to the 7th. So maybe something happened where maybe that review is going to be completed sooner. And yeah, so those dates, don't read too much into those dates. Like they're dates that they predict into the future for completion. Like it's a deadline. It's an internal deadline is the best way I can describe it. And quite often they are done before then. More often than not, there's a lot of people that had the 570 with March 7th that have already cleared up, and they've already seen that they're going to be getting a deposit on March 2nd next week. So don't read too much into those dates, but when they do change it and push it forward, then there is something that's delaying the review even further. So they don't think they're going to be able to complete it by then, the initial date that they were given, which is the same question that Miss Q asked when the date changed. And yours changed from the 14th to the 7th, so maybe your review is going to be completed sooner in that case than initially set out, and then the deadline was initially set for. Joseph, is it possible, since my transcript still says not available, will I get an update tomorrow? Unfortunately, you will not. In order for your where's my refund to have update, for you to be able to get a direct deposit date, you would have to be able to have access to your transcript, and you have to be able to see that there's an 846 code on your transcript. If your transcript is not available, then your return has not finished processing yet, and it hasn't posted for the final stages of processing. Jesse James got the 846 code today. Congratulations. Okay, what if the tax refund on the transcript 846 is not negative? It's not negative because that's not being credited to your account. That is actually being paid out. So um, everything that's negative on your account is credits. Everything that's positive are charges to your account. So when the refund is paid out, that refund is a charge to your account because your balance is a negative balance. So when they pay out that refund, now that charge to your account is making your balance zero again. So when they send you your direct deposit or your check, if you get a check, that refund amount is what your balance was negative, and when they pay it, it brings it to zero. So your refund's always a positive amount because it's a charge to your account because it's being paid out. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Refunds are always positive when it's issued. Where's my refund update for 846 people tomorrow morning, which is the whole purpose of us being here tonight. Hit hard. DS, I'm an 05. My transcript still says not available, and a weird thing happened this morning. I didn't update, but the as of date when I woke up changed to 314, then about 2 hours later switched back to 228. Interesting. That is an interesting situation. So what that would probably mean is that probably sometime next week, likely Friday, you're an 05, that your transcript should be available at that point. At the very least, your transcript should be available if the as of date is still 228. Valerie is a weekly 05er and has a transcript 570 code. When will you see the update? Every Friday, you're going to want to be checking for those updates, and hopefully, whatever the hold is for is resolved quickly, and you will see that 571 code on the next update. Yes, the 846 code, that's from last year. That's probably either a stimulus payment or the child tax credit, the advanced child tax credit payment that you're seeing there. That is not anything to do with your current refund you're going to be getting. Yes, Ashley, where's my refund? We'll be updating tomorrow morning. Everyone that saw that 846 today on the transcript should have a where's my refund update in the morning. Which one was that, honey? I answered that one, yeah. How far up am I looking here?
She too has asked a couple times, what does code 159 mean?
She too asks, what does code 159 mean? 159 is a code I have not seen in quite a while. Let's refer to the code handbook here. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to share the screen here. So I'm going to stop sharing my other screen for now. I'm going to do a Chrome tab. And let's pull up the codes here. 159. Settlement data. Generated transaction designates data as a settlement section of return, such as data is dropped as soon as the return is settled. Interesting. Doesn't tell me much here. So 159 would be some sort of internal code. She too, when you get a chance, I know I'm a little bit behind here on comments because you asked this question at 10. Well, on my thing, it comes through at 10:15, so I'm about 13 minutes behind. So if you're still here, maybe give me a list of the other codes. Just fire off the other codes that are on the transcript, okay? Unless that's a 159 on your Where's My Refund, or is that on your transcript? Let me know in the comments, okay? And Caitlin will shuffle through the comments and look for you again, and she'll let me know so I can get a little more information on that. Life with Queen. Transcript uploaded last night from not available to 570, but you can already see that the amount was adjusted. So does that mean you're waiting for them to lift the freeze? Yes. If it was already adjusted, everyone that's had that happen to them the past couple of weeks, they had the freeze, they had the adjustment, and pretty much the next week they saw the freeze lifted. Because it was pretty much already corrected, so the next update, you would hopefully see that freeze lift at 571. DV says they just got off the phone with the IRS 14 minutes ago, called at 6 on the dot, took 4 tries, and they waited for an hour and 15 minutes for them to answer. Ouch. Ugh, what a nightmare. I can now see my transcript with no codes. Well, no codes, not done processing yet. And the IRS is probably just going to tell you, oh, there's nothing wrong. You're just processing still. It's delayed. They're such a great help. It's harder for me to pinpoint people if what the issue could be if I don't know what your codes are. Meaning, if you don't know what the codes are and I don't know what the codes are, unfortunately, there's not much I can tell you. Angel, I filed the 29th, no update. On the transcript, it still says not available. I called, they said I'm in the errors department. I did add twins that were born last year. Could that be the reason why? That is exactly why, because you're reporting new dependents, not just one new dependent, but 2 new dependents that they don't have on file for you in the history. So that probably immediately got kicked over to the errors department, where they will verify with Social Security, and they may send you a notice in the mail asking you for proof of stuff. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they can all verify all that stuff on their end and get it pushed through. Typically, once they find out that you are indeed the person that can claim those dependents, they'll resolve the error, the reason that the error code was triggered by the system, and they'll push it back into the system for processing, in which case then your transcripts would be available. GNT, a friend filed last Saturday and got her deposit today. Jim Coleman, not happy with having to wait. So many people in that position. Definitely not a fun position to be in. My amount does not have a minus sign. Does that mean I owe? And now when you say the amount, do you mean the amount at the top left of the transcript where it says account balance? If it's negative, that's the money that the IRS would be paying out to you. If it is a positive amount, top left where it says account balance, that's where you'd be looking for that amount. If it was a positive number, then that would be money you owe to the IRS. JBay, 846 today, March 2nd, direct deposit. Congratulations. Tony, received the update on the transcripts. 846 is your 3-2, but the Where's My Refund still says delay. You know why? Because it's not going to update until tomorrow morning, which is the whole reason we're here tonight. This is why we do these Where's My Refund watch party on Friday night, because on Saturday morning, that's when Where's My Refund will update. So we do our transcript update parties on Thursday night because the transcripts will update on Friday. And we do our Where's My Refund update parties on Friday night because Where's My Refund will update on Saturday. Genovia, can you all like the video? Show some love. I agree. Make sure you like that video. What are we up to there? 63 likes. I got 79 watching, 78 watching. A little discrepancy in the numbers here. Would truly appreciate the likes and subscriptions from people that haven't subscribed yet. Joshua Gordon says, first time to the channel, really enjoying it. The knowledge, quick question. The transcript has updated 846 to your H&R Emerald card. What's the chance of getting it early? And do you forecast, and when do you forecast funds? It's tough to say. Joshua, if you paid for your fees out of your refund, it's very unlikely you would get it early. But if it's going just directly to the card and you paid your fees up front, it may deposit like a day or two early, but don't count on it. I always tell people with these, it's hit and miss sometimes with the prepaid cards. Just you know for sure you're gonna have it by March 2nd. So plan on getting it that day, and then if you get it sooner, like a day or two sooner, then it's gravy. But almost certainly, if you paid for your fees out of your refund, you're probably not gonna get it early. DV says the IRS update adjusted the refund. Notice was saying why was dated to go out the 14th. Usually, okay. So if they already made the adjustment, DV, and you didn't see an update this week, then you should see an update next week. Okay. Oh, here we go. Clarification here. If the amount issued, if it says refund issued as a positive number, that's fine. That's the amount you're actually getting. That has nothing to do with owing. The whole reason it's a positive number on your refund is because when you're owed a refund, your account balance before the refund is issued, your account balance is a negative. So let's just say you have your tax due for the year. We call it like $1,500. It'd be on the top line, that code 150. I'm just throwing that number out there. Then you have your like child tax credit, your earned income credit, and your withholding from your job. All that gets subtracted from that, and then there's a negative number. You have a negative balance. That's the refund you're going to get. And then when the IRS issues the refund, it shows us a positive number on the bottom line because they're sending you money out, and they're zeroing out that balance. So that money is getting charged to your account because it's being pulled out. Just kind of going through the comments here, guys. Chat. I see some people talking to each other, so I want to differentiate who's talking to who and who's asking me questions. So just bear with me, guys. If you've asked a question, I'm about Well, at this point, I'm probably about 12 minutes behind in the chat, trying to go through some of the questions. I'm certainly not going to be able to answer everybody's question because I do get a lot of questions when I do the streams, but I try to do my best to answer ones that could be applicable to multiple people. Natasha has the 846 code with the date of March 2nd. You are all set. Your Where's My Refund is going to update tomorrow. But even if Where's My Refund didn't update, your transcript is always 100% accurate. If you have an 846 code on your transcript, you are getting a refund for that amount. So, absolutely no reason to have concern. But you should see Where's My Refund update tomorrow morning when it updates. Beautiful and all says, hey Dana, I still haven't got an update on my Where's My Refund or my transcript. I am beyond frustrated. Filed January 18th and still waiting for a direct deposit date. That is beyond frustrating, and I agree with you. And too long to wait. Probably something that there's probably something that kicked your return into the errors department before they can push it through for final processing. I answered some questions earlier with people who are kind of in the same boat, and some of those people did file the look back or the recovery rebate or both, and a lot of those returns have been getting pushed back. I got the 846 code this morning for 3.2. Does that mean I'll get my bars back on Where's My Refund? Yes, tomorrow morning. Should come back. If it doesn't, no worries. You're still getting your March 2nd direct deposit. I guarantee it. You can take that to the bank. Literally. It's time to change the music. I've been on this song for a while. William. Transcripts still say not available with a 05 code as of today. Does that mean it's likely another week? Like next Friday? Yes, at least until next Friday. Hopefully no later than that. But I'm not sure when you filed. Lola, I filed on February 4th with TurboTax, and it said I got accepted the same day. I checked Where's My Refund. The bars are gone. Code 152, the transcripts say not available. Bummer. Let's see, February 4th, that it was exactly 21 days ago. Lola, if you were on Path, though, like if you have earned income credit, then your 21-day period does not actually start until February 15th, so you can't count the 21 days until Path is lifted if you are one of the Path filers. So if you did claim earned income credit, then another week or so, if you still don't have an update, then that's when you might want to call the IRS and see if there's a freeze or anything on your return or what the holdup is for. Pro Massacre says, my transcript just updated saying my return is issued, but how long should I expect to wait? Would it be possible for it to be here tomorrow? You'll see the Where's My Refund update tomorrow with the direct deposit date. It's completely up to the bank from when they receive those funds over how long they're going to hold the funds. The IRS dates it for the 2nd, so that's when you should expect to receive it. Tamara says, I got the 846 for 3-2. Congratulations. But it still says processing. Until tomorrow when it changes and you have the 2 bars for the March 2nd date. Tommy McGraw says, what does it mean if my as of dates changed to March 7th? Very little, other than the fact that the system has set the internal deadline for itself for the next action on your account to be March 7th. For example, if your initial date was the 28th, then the system or whoever is working on the return knows that it's not going to be completed by the 28th, or you're not going to have your refund by the 28th, so they've pushed back the deadline to March 7th. All right, let's see if I have some more current comments I can go to. Where am I looking, honey? Give me names around it so I know what I'm looking for. A time? Is there a timestamp on it? Oh, you don't have a timestamp on yours. Ah. Andrew, I have questions. What does it mean if it says, I'm sorry for the delay, I did my taxes on February 6th? So, the system, the Where's My Refund system automatically changes your messaging on Where's My Refund after your return has been in their system for so long. So, you file your return, it gets accepted, you get a bar. Sometimes if someone was PATH, if they filed before the PATH actor was lifted, they don't even get a bar, it goes to the PATH message. But other than that, you get your return, you file it, it's accepted by the system, you get a bar, it says it's been accepted. You know, most returns are processed within 21 days, blah, 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 blah. And then after a little over a week, the message changes to no bars, and it just says, your return is still being processed, tax topic 152. Then after a few days after that, it says, your return is still being processed, and then a few days after that it changes, it says, sorry for the delay, your return is delayed, blah, blah, blah. Those are all automatic messages that the system has programmed in to change after a certain amount of time. You really can't derive anything from those messages other than what you already know, which is that you've been waiting, right? It's time has passed. That's what it means. Jamie. Woohoo! My 570 code updated today with a 571 and the 846 code. Payment set for Wednesday. Congratulations. I should have a bell or something that can ring for people. I did have a crystal ball. Well, actually, my wife has a crystal ball. I asked her to bring up for me, but she didn't. So I could make predictions for people, but maybe next week. Okay, hit hard. The 766, that's your child tax credit. The 846, that's the payment that you received last year, or the sum of payments you received from the advance child tax credit last year, or the stimulus if it was a stimulus payment. I'm not sure which one. I'm assuming it's the advanced child tax payments if you're getting the 766. The 290 is the reset. So after those payments were issued and the new tax season was started, they throw a 290 code on your transcript to reset your balance to 0. The 971 is the notice issued it's about the payments you received last year. So unless you have a 570 code, that 971 isn't anything you have to worry about. That was information about your payments you received last year. You should have gotten a letter from the IRS stating how much they sent you, and that's the amount you're supposed to report on your return. By the way, guys, let us know in the comments. I didn't do an audio check, and I'm having a hard time hearing in my earphone here. I can't hear myself talk. I can hear everything else. Just let me know if the audio sounds okay. Okay, she too says, I just checked and it says code 150. Okay. Should I play the code 150 video again? Code 150 just means that your return is posted to the system for processing. So you have the code 150, that means your return is posted to the system for processing. And then there'll be a dollar amount. You'll have your cycle code, there'll be a dollar amount. The dollar amount is the tax that's due for the year. So when all the calculations are done, there's a tax that's due. That doesn't mean that you owe them any money. That's how much they determine that based on your income. That's the tax you have due. And in most cases, you've prepaid through your work when you pay your payroll taxes. So when that withholding amount, there should be an 806 code with a dollar amount that's negative. That's all the taxes that you've already paid. So that gets subtracted from that amount due, that tax due, on the 150 line, and then the child tax credit and the earned income credit, if you have that, those would get deducted as well. And that's how they determine what your refund is. Ms. Pamela says the audio is fine. And yes, the transcripts are done for the day. Usually they're done, usually once we hit about 6 p.m. Eastern time, there's no more updates on Friday. Josh's Adventures phone froze. I'm not sure if my question was answered. The tax code appears with 152. Does it not update any codes like that? But if held up, will a tax code appear with 152? The 152 is going to be there for everybody at some point. So you cannot read into anything about your return. You can't read into anything about your return based on whether the tax topic 152 is there or not there. It's an old wives' tale that tells you something. It doesn't tell you anything about your return or your status personally. That is a generic code that is placed on Where's My Refund that everybody that files a tax return is going to have on Where's My Refund at one point or another. So whether it is there or whether it is not there, you don't know if you have a hold because it's there or not. Tax topic 152 is just a generic message. Jim Coleman, 971, notice issued from March 14th with a $0 amount. All notice issued, all freeze codes and notice issue codes will have a $0 amount because it's a non-monetary transaction. And the 2022-0705 is your cycle code. 7th week of 2022, the 5th day of the cycle, meaning your transcript is only ever going to update on Fridays. And when your transcript does update on Friday with an 846 eventually, you will get a Where's My Refund update on Saturday. The 150 code, as I explained, means your tax return has posted to the system for processing. Oh, I should have asked if there's a hold, Josh. I should have asked if there's a hold. Will a new code pop up? No new codes might pop up. Well, I shouldn't say that. If there is a code that's associated, see, the thing about Where's My Refund is it's a completely different system than the transcript system. So they have like generic tax topics that they have for Where's My Refund that sometimes the system will automatically generate if it thinks your refund might have something to do with that tax topic. So, like, the reason everyone gets tax topic 152 is because pretty much everyone's going to get a refund. You know, people that aren't getting a refund that would owe money probably wouldn't get tax topic 152. It's a generic thing. Same thing with the codes they put. Sometimes there's like an offset code. Sometimes there's there's another code too. It's like a take action code, and that would pop up too. But it wouldn't be 152. It would be a different code, and it doesn't necessarily mean it even applies to you. It's like basically the system is guessing, because of the amount of time that's passed, that this code might apply to you. Laurie, you updated last Friday with a 766 and 768 codes. All the numbers look good. You still didn't update. Ah, bummer. But as long as you didn't see any freeze codes, probably got resequenced to the back of the line for some reason. Laurie, if you don't have an update next week, call them and find out what's going on. Walter wants to know, what does this mean? Your return is still being processed. A refund date will be provided when available. For more information on processing delays, please see our blah, 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 IRS code speak for your return has been in the system. When it's still being processed, your return has been in the system for over 8 days. That's what it means. And it's still being processed. If probably going to change again. If your return still isn't done processing, it's going to change again to sorry for the delay. However, Walter, I don't know if you have access to your transcript, but if you had access to your transcript and you could see if you had an 846 code. If you had an 846 code that appeared today, then that would mean your Where's My Refund would change tomorrow. So even if you don't have a transcript access today, don't lose complete hope, because you still might be a part of that update tomorrow. But we can't say for sure without knowing if you have the 846 refund issued code. Laurie, the next transcript update is going to be next Friday. Ms. Pamela, the 570 with a 00. The 570 is a freeze code, so your return's being reviewed for some reason. And the $0 amount is because it's a non-monetary transaction. The freeze has no money associated with it. It's a review, so it's always a $0 amount. Christian Nation 289 has good news. They're getting theirs on March 1st. Congratulations. Bring in my imaginary bell. My wife thinks I'm a dork. She's not wrong. Kurt, would having $2,000 in recovery rebate and retirement credits slow it down? Most likely. It probably would. Lola, on my 2020 tax returns, I was a cycle 05. Does that matter for 2021? If you were an 05 last year, you are going to be an 05 this year, almost 100% of the time. It's very rare that someone's cycle code changes. Once they're in 05, they're pretty much in 05 for every year after that. Raider Nation back in the house. Just got off work. Glad I caught the stream. Hope I get the path update tomorrow. I hope you do too. Valerie. Gonna teach her people that she does the tax prep for how to get their transcripts and share the wisdom from the channel. Thank you very much. Thanks, Valerie. Just trying to help you guys out. And give everyone a place to vent. I know how frustrating all this can be. Okay, I'm going back in time now because I'm on my stream here of comments. I'm pretty much caught up, so I'll go back, try to catch some of the ones I missed. Okay, Lady Chris, can I answer Brittany 2021? Okay, let's go back to 1021. Thank you to my beautiful wife, and thank you, Lady Chris, for letting me know. 1021, going all the way back. Hop into the time machine. Okay, I don't have it. Brittany. Let me see. Brittany Robinson. Okay, I have a 971 code. but I received my state tax refund in the mail, and I e-filed. Okay, so the state tax refund is in a completely separate system as the IRS. So just because you're in review for one doesn't mean you're not in review for the other, or vice versa. And the 971 code could be for a variety of things. If there's no 570 freeze code or no 420 audit code on your transcript, and it's a 971 code without either one of those, then that 971 code is in relation to either a stimulus payment or the advanced child tax credits that you got last year. Two, Tango Whiskey 501. Could the 570 or 971 be from correcting the CTC? The return was lower. That could certainly be what it is. And if it was corrected already, then I would expect that you would see that 571 release code next week if it was already fixed. Jonathan wants to know, I didn't file a tax return last year for unemployment that I now owe back. Will they freeze my refund this year? So if you owe taxes on that unemployment, what's probably going to happen is when you file, it's definitely going to slow it down. And then they're going to match up if you owe anything on that from last year, and then they're going to take what you owe and then go ahead and process the return and refund the rest. That's usually how they handle it. Richard, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey guys, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do. I'm here for the live streams on Thursdays and Fridays, celebrating with those people that are expecting transcript updates on Fridays, and celebrating with the people that know they're going to be getting Where's My Refund updates on Saturday because they got the 846 update on Friday. But I'm also here to commiserate with all of you who have been waiting and had no updates, because I know how frustrating that is. Walter, why have I gone from received to return is still being processed? But you already received your state taxes. So once again, the state taxes are a completely separate system from the IRS system. So just because there's delays on one doesn't mean there's going to be delays on another. An example I can give is my own situation this year. We filed our return a few weeks ago, and we already got back our federal direct deposit refund yesterday. But I got a notice the other day that I'm being reviewed by the state, and I had to verify my income and all my deductions that I claimed, and so it's a completely different system. So I'm under review from one, and I wasn't from the other. Which, by the way, I keep very good records, and I sent the state about 75 pages of paperwork that they're now going to have to go through, and probably will owe me more money. They're going to owe me more money now. They could have just processed it and paid me what I requested for the refund, because I was trying to keep it as simple as possible, but Lisa, I have a question. There's a limit transfer on my bank account and my refund is over the limit. Okay, Lisa, so I'm not sure if it's like a prepaid bank account or not, but some of those will raise the limit at tax time. If it's a regular bank, they're probably not going to raise the limit regardless of the situation. So if the bank refuses the deposit from the IRS, then what's going to happen is the bank will send the money back to the IRS, and when they get that money back with the refusal, they're going to mail you a paper check. So if that happens, so say you wake up on your direct deposit date and it hasn't been deposited, you can almost be assured that it's because it was refused. And Credit Karma. Don't worry about the credit. Okay. I shouldn't say don't worry about the Credit Karma. Lisa, I don't know if you saw any of my other videos the past week, but that's what we did this year, and it was a headache. So they're gonna accept the money. They're gonna take the tax money, but you're gonna have a tough time getting the money off the card. Just to warn you. As soon as if you have a regular bank account, as soon as that refund comes in, just transfer it to your regular bank account, because you won't be able to. You can only take off like a maximum of $500 a day off the card, and there's no way around it because they have a limit on quasi-cash deposits. I mean, quasi-cash withdrawals. So if you go to like a store and try to take money, like you could do cash back at the store when you buy a pack of gum or something, that won't work. Anything that you do that involves getting cash back off the card, once you hit the limit for the day, they won't let you get it. They won't let you get it. But what happened to me was yesterday, the deposit hit yesterday morning, and the first thing I did when the deposit came in is I paid our internet bill, which isn't a lot of money. And the internet bill went through, and then I went to the ATM to try to take money off the card, and it wouldn't let me. They locked my card. I got a call today. I tried to do a bunch of different transactions. None of them worked on my card. I got a call today after I had already transferred. I transferred the money to my regular bank account because I didn't want the headache. And so I transferred it all to my regular bank account. But Credit Karma called me today and said there was a fraud alert on my card. Go figure. Obviously, because you locked my card after one transaction. You know, because when people steal credit card information, the first thing they're going to do is pay your internet bill. I didn't know if you guys know that. Lisa, I have a $10,000 deposit transfer limit, and the refund is $12,800. So I'm a little worried they're going to reject it. Yeah, I'd be a little concerned because I haven't seen any notices from Credit Karma if they're gonna raise that limit or not. But they might. If they don't, the IRS is just going to send you a paper check. If they refuse it, it's going to, add another 2 weeks to your return. They get the money back, then they send it out. It's completely up to the USPS, honestly. Because as soon as they get that money back, they're going to issue you a check. Then it's up to the post office to deliver it. So it's how much of a mess is the post office in? Brandon W. How do you know the cycle? I did a TurboTax, accepted on the 7th. Was expected to receive the 3/7, but when I go to the IRS, it says still processing. So when we talk about the cycle codes, we're talking about tax transcripts. So if you don't have access to your transcripts, or if you've never tried, you want to... Let me go to my shared screen here. What you can do is you can Google Get Transcript. The first thing that should pop up in the suggestions is the IRS Get Transcript page. And you would go to Get Transcript Online. And then if you have an IRS username, which is what I use, then you can use that. You have to verify your identity for that. Or you can create an ID.me account and log in that way. Take your time when you're going through the process. Answer all the questions the best you can. And then once you get into that account, that's when you can check your transcripts. It's pretty straightforward. Lola, when does Cycle 05 receive updates? Every Friday on the transcripts, every Saturday on Where's My Refund. Miss Pamela, I'll see you next Friday. I hope you get the 571 code. And Lisa says thank you. No problem, Lisa. Laurie, is there any reason why the as of dates keep jumping back and forth today? Mine changed 3 times within 2 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. So the system's constantly updating on Fridays for the weekly batches. So there was probably some action that was being done on your return that caused the system to think that maybe the processing would take later take till a later date, and then maybe back to the original date, then maybe to a later date again. Not sure where the date wound up for you, but the date changes when the system changes its deadline, basically, to be processed. And it's usually at that point, if someone's like looking at your return and reviewing it, it's like based on the information they're inputting. Which is the same question that Rosie asked. The system changes those dates. Guys, don't read too much into those dates. That's like an internal deadline date the system sets for itself. And because it can change it, it doesn't tell you much because it can always just change. Jamie just said thank you so much, Dana. You have helped me understand transcripts. No problem. Brandon, thank you. Jonathan Burns, one more question. I had income from a job that I worked last year, along with unemployment, and I couldn't figure out how to file for last year. If they owed me more money, would I get it? Interesting question. They're going to do the calculations on your income based on whatever was submitted to them from unemployment and the job. They may ask you to submit any paperwork that you have, and they'll do the calculations based on that. The thing about it is that if the unemployment and the job income affected any credits you claimed and it lowered your credit amount, it could actually end up that you end up owing them money, unfortunately. So it really depends on how much money was involved and how much it changed your adjusted gross income. But if it changed your adjusted gross income to a point where you didn't owe money and maybe they owed you money, then you would get it. They'd probably tell you to file and they probably well, I would suggest file an amended return for that year. But if they sent you an examination letter, then you just have to do whatever they tell you to do. Hit the wrong button. Okay. Joseph McGee had the 570 code lifted today. Congratulations. Joseph, if you didn't get the 846 today, that's because it didn't get lifted in time. So you'd see the 846 next week. Laurie, have a good night. Simply Clarissa, joining the chat. Hello. Lola, have a great weekend. Thank you for the compliments. Armenia, if you want to know what your previous code was, I'm assuming you're talking about the cycle code. You could go into a previous year's transcript. When you log in, you'll have 2021, 2020, 2019. You can just go to the account transcript for 2020 or 2019 and see what your cycle code was back then. Just be aware on the 2020 cycle codes, there's going to be several different ones because of the stimulus. So go by the cycle code that has the 150 code on it, where it says 150 tax return filed, and then the cycle code, that's the line you go by. Simply Clarissa. Yep, Where's My Refund's going to update tomorrow morning. That's why we're having the party tonight. So your IRS saying processing is going to change tomorrow to the 2 bars. It's going to say you'll get your refund on March 2nd. Congratulations. And you already got your refund because Chime Yeah, the IRS sends the money out actually on Fridays. That's why you already got it. Oh, the other code like 846 or 570. When you look at the transcript, whatever the last code is the last thing that was done to the tax account. So what you're going to do is when you pull up your transcript, if the last code is 570, that means the refund is still being frozen. If the 846 code is the last thing on the line, that's the last thing that happened, which means the refund would be the last thing that was issued. Oh, Trent X, how's it going? I'm doing all right. I haven't gotten any updates on my refund in about 2 weeks. I got accepted on the 28th. I was wondering if I get it by the 1st, even if I have no indication of it. Well, you might see an update tomorrow morning. I don't know if you have access to your transcript. But if you do, and you see there's an 846 code, then you know you will be getting it by the 1st or the 2nd. If there is no 846 code on transcripts, there is no refund yet. You're still being processed. Befray Beauty, please answer my question. It's time-stamped at 10:35. I will go back for you now. Hopping in my little time machine. My 846 amount is lower than my TurboTax amount, and also does not have a minus sign next to it. What is the reason that this would happen? Okay, so the TurboTax amount for the refund just be they sum up. They do the total sum of your state and your federal together when they show you that refund amount. So that's why it's lower, because that's just the federal portion of your refund. So if you look at TurboTax, you're seeing the state and the federal combined for the total refund. I'm guessing that's probably why. As far as the not having a minus sign next to it, the 846 refund issue code is always a positive, because when your account is negative, that means the IRS owes you money, and when they're paying out your refund, that's going to be a positive amount to zero out your account. It's balancing your account to zero. So the refund is always going to be a positive amount because it balances your account to zero. Your account was negative. That's why they owed you money. That's why you're getting a refund. They give you the refund. It zeroes the account out. I hope that answers your question. Double check your TurboTax. Just make sure that the amount you're looking at on TurboTax is the not the federal and the state combined. If it isn't the federal and the state combined and it's lower for a different reason, then maybe there was some sort of offset or something. But my hunch is that you're looking at the number that TurboTax adds together with federal and state. It's a question that's been asked before, and that was what it was. Liana Perez, accepted on 213. Filed on TurboTax. Estimated deposit date was 214. Well, it wouldn't be the day after. Claimed additional child tax credit. Or claimed child tax credit. Your return still being processed. Do you mean you filed on 213 or 113? And if it's 113, it's been quite a while, hasn't it? As far as the where's my refunds, that message changes after your return has been in the system for a certain amount of time without being completed. And yeah. I'm always going to go back to the transcripts. If you have access to the transcripts, that's what you want to check. 7 seals. I got an 856, but you were shorted by 3,000. How'd that happen? My guess is going to be stimulus related. Am I correct? And Liana says it was 213. So, yeah, you're still within the... after about 8 days or so, it's going to say it's being processed or still being processed. And the message is going to change as your return is being processed. You can't read too much into it. But if there's nothing wrong with your return, You should see some updates soon. Lady Shay, if my refund is reduced, how do I type in the amount to see if it's been approved? How do you know if it's been reduced? Did you see that on your transcript? So you can try it from both ways. You can try it from the way that you initially applied when you filed your return, what it was supposed to be. And if that doesn't work, then you can check the new amount that's on your transcript. But there wouldn't be an 846 code on your transcript. You'd have to look at the top left corner, whatever that negative amount is where it says account balance. That would be what you're looking for. What's up? March 2nd date? What? Lady Shay called, and they said the first week of March. They said that you're going to receive it the first week of March. Hopefully you're okay. I just saw a comment I want to address. Let me go back through here. Rodney, do you know anything about the 4464 letter? See, yes, that's the wage and income verification letter. How long are you looking? It's completely up to your employer, honestly. They're doing wage verification, so they're going to be, if they need anything from you, they're going to ask you, which means you'll be mailing things back and forth through snail mail with them. And then they're waiting on information from whoever issued your W-2s or 1099s for confirmation. So really it's up to whoever issued the 1099 or W-2s if it's your employer. And there's really no timeline because they have until the end of April to file all that paperwork. So you have to just kind of hope that whoever you work for does the stuff sooner than later. That's a bummer. Hey, honey, can you do me a favor? Before I answer Jim Coleman's next question, can you just go back to the comments for me and see if he told me what codes he had, so I don't have to keep on asking him? Yeah, Jim, I'm just gonna look for see if you oh, you did post the codes. Never mind, I found it. Yep. Okay, so Jim, yeah, if you didn't get the update today, you're not gonna see the update tomorrow, and then you are in 05. So, and just so everyone can see the comment I'm talking about here, where's Jim? Jim Coleman. With my cycle code of 2022-0705, does that mean I won't receive an update tomorrow? Yeah, you're not gonna see. You won't get an update tomorrow because you don't have an 846 code on your transcript yet, so you're going to be looking for next week. As long as no holds get placed on the return, you would hopefully see an update next week. Rogdry Green. Hey Dana, quick question. Can I file for 2019 or is it too late? If you're going to file that return, I think it would be an amended return you would want to file for that. But don't file anything. Don't ever file anything until your current return has been finalized. Because whenever you send anything into the IRS, if you do it before your current return is finalized, unless the IRS has asked for it, they can slow down your current return. Kim, where on the transcript would the 846 be? If you have an 846, it would be the very last line of your transcript. Down the bottom, where the transcript codes are, the transaction codes, whatever the last line is the last thing that was done to your return. So if it's an 846, that means the last thing that was done was your refund was approved. Dawn. Why, when I look at my transcript, is it giving me a total different transcript? Instead of saying jointly married, it says single. Interesting. Who is the main filer on your return? Would it be you or your spouse? It would probably say jointly, married filing jointly for whoever is the main filer. In other words, if my wife and I were to log in, I'm like the number one filer on the return, and then my wife is after me. So when I file with the tax returns, like my name's the main filer. And so when I pull up the transcript, my transcript would have all the information. My wife's wouldn't have any information. It probably would even say single until the return is processed, and then hers would populate with all the information. The main filer always gets populated first. Josh K. still waiting for an update. Not available on the transcript. A lot of people are right there waiting with you, Josh. Yeah, Don. So if your spouse has access to the transcripts, have them check and see. Because that's where all the information, the current information, should be. I filed on January 27th. It says still processing. It's been over 21 days, but I also have a tax topic 151 code. Transcript says NA for everything. It's been this long. Your return is almost certainly in the errors department. The 151 code means it's probably some sort of offset or debt owed, either to the IRS or someone else, like student loans. And that's probably why it got sent over to the errors department. So when your return got filed, it got flagged. If there's a debt owed, they'll take whatever portion of the refund they need to pay the debt. And if there's anything left over, that's what you would get as a refund. Finally see my transcript. It says no tax on file. File on the 31st. Yep, hasn't posted the system for processing yet. It's been this long. It's either one of two things. If it's been this long and it says no tax on file, it hasn't hit the final stage of processing yet. So it's either in the errors department because when your return got filed, something on there got it flagged for review right away. So it just instead of getting into the processing system, it just got immediately kicked over to errors, or it got resequenced and it just keeps on getting resequenced and pushed to the back of the line. At some point within the next week or two, you're probably going to see an update, and you'll know for sure because of when it updates. If it was in review, you would see a 570 code. Amari, big day for everyone who was an early filer to claim the credits. Could be, hopefully, for a lot of people that have been waiting. Kim, I filed on the 7th, accepted on the 8th. I checked where's my refund this morning, and my refund amount and bars disappeared. Do you think it will update tomorrow? Well, there's going to be, I can tell you that there will be a where's my refund update tomorrow. Lots of people will be getting an update with a refund. The only people that I can say for sure are getting the update with the 2 bars and the direct deposit date are the people that were able to check their transcripts today and saw the 846 refund issue code. If you don't have access to your transcripts, I can't tell you definitively whether you're going to update. I can only tell you that at this point, when you've been waiting for this amount of time, you're going to be in that weekly batch processing. So the dates you would be looking for updates would be Saturday mornings. So you could update tomorrow. It's definitely a possibility. No way to know for sure without knowing what's on your transcript. Sean, if it says 2021 1305 on my account from last year, will I get an update tonight? Yeah, the current year's cycle code would be 2022, even though it's for the tax year of 2021. So when you would click on the transcript, you'd look at the account transcript for 2021. And your cycle code for this year would be 2022. The next 2 digits are the week of the year, and then the final 2 digits are the day of the week, which is the 05, which is the Friday. So would you get an update tonight? If you haven't got one yet today, you're not going to get one tonight. You'd be waiting until at least next week. I filed on January 27th. It says still processing. I haven't received a letter from the IRS. Should I expect an update soon? I sure hope so. There's so many people right now that have been waiting since January that haven't had any updates. If you filed mid to late January and you don't have an update by next Friday, well, I'd say definitely start calling, even next week on Monday, start calling the IRS and find out what's going on if you haven't had an update yet. Because at this point, you're probably in review and they can probably tell you why. Valerie, the Where's My Refund updates between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And it's a 3-hour period. It doesn't update for 3 hours. It just shuts down at some point in that 3-hour period to do the updates. It shuts down for about 20 minutes or so. Comes back up with all the updates. But it can occur anytime between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Southern Taste got accepted February 6th. The buyers disappeared. It says still not processed. Now they have the delayed message. 19 days. Sounds about right. You get your return is being processed after about 8. You get the return is still being processed after about 11 or 12 days, and then you get the delayed message after about 2 weeks. It's time. It's all time related. Not necessarily anything specific about your return. The only way to know for sure what's going on in your return is to check your transcripts, like Brandon Springer did when he saw the 846 code from March 2nd. Congratulations! Wah, wah, wah. Ashley has no codes, no freeze codes, no updates, nothing. Filed on the 24th of January. That is a bummer. There is a couple different scenarios where people could have claimed certain things, and you're not seeing any updates because of what you claimed. For example, if you claimed recovery rebate and or, especially the look-back credit. Like if you claimed recovery rebate and look-back credit, you're almost certainly going to get held and reviewed if you claim both of them. If you claimed either or, you could get reviewed. They could select you for review just to make sure you're eligible. Not sure if you did. I'm not saying you did. All right, I filed and got accepted on January 28th. All right, we see someone in January with an update. They had the 570 code and they updated with the 571 release and the 846 today. Congratulations. Sweet. Good news. Yeah, if your transcripts have that 570 freeze code and it's something fairly simple that they can correct quickly on their end, you should get that 571 release within a week or two. It's frustrating, I know, everybody. I know it can be frustrating. Vicky says, what's the NA and the as of date of the transcript? My as of date keeps changing with no update. They haven't processed my return yet. It actually went back to my original as of date last night. That's exactly what the NA means, though. They haven't processed yet. When your return posts to the system for the final stages of processing, that's when the transcript would become available. That's when all those codes would populate and you could see what's going on. Brandon. Where's my refund? Says mine was deposited on the 24th and you still have nothing in your account. Okay. So likely what happened is the bank refused the deposit, I would guess. And now it's getting sent back to the IRS and you'll get a paper check in the mail. My hunch is that if it's been this long, you definitely should have had it by today. And if you don't have it, then an account number was probably input wrong. And it got refused by the bank. Talk to your bank, see if anything came through that they refused. And if they, if it got refused, there's nothing much you can do. You have to just wait for the IRS to mail you a check. Kenya says, my bar disappeared and came back, but still no refund. Just showing the 152 code. Filed January 28th. Should you have an update? Can't say for sure. If you had access to the transcripts, I might be able to tell you a little bit more, but if you don't, my best guess is that check tomorrow morning. Hopefully you are a part of this big batch update that's going to occur tonight. Chuck's information hasn't updated yet. Their cycle code is 2022-0805. That's still a pretty recent cycle code. No other codes, which is actually a good sign. So your return hasn't finished processing yet. And doesn't necessarily mean anything bad yet. So, like I said, that 0805 is a fairly recent cycle. So you still got some time. You're still within your 21-day window. Yeah, no tax on file means that it just hasn't posted to the system yet for final processing. Mrs. Marie, a little late to the party. We've been going strong for an hour and 40 minutes. You could always go back to the video at the beginning and see anything that you might have missed. It was a little surprise for everyone at the beginning of the stream tonight. Brandon, the 846 code is the direct deposit date. So if it said a direct deposit, e-refund issued for 2/24, that would be the date the IRS to set the money for a deposit. And then what will happen is if it did get refused by the bank, if you check your transcript, say like in a week or so, you would see another code, a new code. I forget what the code they use is, but there's a different code they use for the refund reversal because it got returned to them, and they'll give you a new refund code for the check, and they'll mail you a check. An 846 code is always good though, because that means that your refund was approved. Mrs. Marie talked to the IRS today for 2 hours, talked to multiple people, finally got an answer, and not the answer that she wanted, but an answer. And they said it was in the art department, which I probably suggested to you. I'm not sure if I did. I probably did. And they said it could take up to 10 weeks to get figured out. It could. But sometimes it's a lot quicker. It depends on if they specified what it was in the errors department for. Some things they can resolve fairly quickly. And by fairly quickly, I mean like within like 2 to 3 weeks. Which is still quite a delay. Ryan wants to know if I'm a baseball fanatic. I am. I'm a huge Red Sox fan. General sports fan in general. Baseball, hockey, football, basketball. Curling. Just kidding. Most boring Olympic sport. Is it curling? I don't know. Do they have lawn bowling in the Olympics or something? I don't know. Armenia wants to know what is 150. That means your return has been posted to the system for processing. Your return is on file. Radio Nation wants to know if the ID.me for some reason can't verify his friend's documents, is it going to affect his return? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Biggie Les wants to know what it means with the 228-570 code. With a 228 date going on 2 weeks. So it was the deadline that it set for itself was 228. You're likely on the next update going to see if it's not done, if the review isn't complete by next week. When the update next week, you're going to see a new date there next week. I bet the as of date would change. So it's just still being reviewed if it hasn't updated yet. Unfortunately, if it didn't update today, it's going to be at least another week before we see another one. Since I started watching your channel, I have been stress-free. Thank you. Glad to be of help. Where's My Refund has tax topic 152. Is that good? Question 1. Are you a human being? Question 2. Did you file a tax return? Question 3. When you filed that tax return, were you expecting a refund? If you answered yes to all three of those questions, that is why you have tax topic 152. If it says no tax on file with no codes, have they looked at them yet? They have not posted it to the system for the final stage of processing yet. Depending on when you filed, it could also mean that they haven't even looked at it yet. Biggie less, no problem. Glad to be of service. Mrs. Marie, is there an errors department that I can specifically get a hold of? Unfortunately, no. The best I can tell you is that 30 days after the lift of Path Act, so 30 days after February 15th, once it's been, because that's like the technical acceptance date is after Path lifts, is what you would, I'm going to share a page with you here. What you can do, and this is for your situation specifically because you are in review. And I'm just going to share my screen again here. Share. You can go to the Taxpayer Advocate Service with the IRS and contact them. After 30 days, they can assign you an advocate if it's still not resolved. So give it 30 days, until March 15th or so. If it still hasn't been resolved by then, you can contact the Advocate Service and they might be able to help you out. That's the best I can tell you about that. Hopefully it would be resolved by then, but if their 10-week timeline was correct. You have to do some finagling with the Tax Advocate Service too and say like it's not getting your refund is causing a hardship. Dave Campo says, it is kind of sad that the IRS charges us taxes all year and then they take forever to return a piece of it back to us. Sad is one word to describe it. Some might say it's infuriating. Yay Raider Nation. Yay Raider Nation says DS is definitely the GOAT. Meh. I know what it means. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any information on the 2020 refund? Did you amend a return? Are you waiting on an unemployment refund? Or is it just your original refund? Any one of those. All I can tell you is that they are still processing approximately 2 million returns from last year. So in addition to the fact that they're processing 160 million returns this year, they also have the 2 million from last year they still have to go through. Mike Julie wants to know what time. Where's my refund update? Between the hours of 3 a.m. Eastern Time and 6 a.m. Eastern Time, it will shut down for about 15 to 20 minutes, come back up, and hundreds of thousands of happy tax filers will have 2 bars and a refund date, while many others will have a message that says still being processed, or sorry, your return is delayed. Zachary, the number codes we're talking about mainly are on the transcripts, so until that NA goes away and you have the availability of your account transcript for 2021, you won't be able to see anything, unfortunately. Armenia, 806 code, that is withholding. So that is the money that was taken out of your paycheck every week for your federal taxes. So when they look at your tax owed, which is on the top line, they'll subtract the money on that 806 code. They'll also subtract the money from your child tax credit and earned income credit if you have that as well. I have a cycle 05. Do I have to wait until next Friday since they have no tax on file to get an update? Unfortunately, you do. Unfortunately, you do. The account balance on your transcript, if it's a negative number, that is the money that you will be getting as a refund when the return is complete. That is the amount that you would eventually see at the bottom of the transcript as a positive number next to the 846 code. That's how much you'd be getting back. Crystal McManus, I filed on the 31st. I was accepted on the 7th. Wow, that's a long gap. It keeps saying it's still being processed. That's because it's been so long. And I didn't receive a child tax credit from last year, so I get that as well. How long do you think it will take? Well, I can tell you that's why you've been on hold for a while, because you claimed the recovery rebate. So, last year was kind of a bleep show with the recovery rebate credits because they were holding so many of those returns until the end of the tax season. This year, with people claiming recovery rebate, they are moving, it seems they're moving a little quicker, but they do have to verify that you actually should be receiving it. So it could take a few weeks for them to verify that. So if you only have those two codes, 150 and 806, your return is not fully processed yet. That's where you stand. They're still processing the return. Mrs. Marie read somewhere that they have to pay late refund penalties to people after a certain time. Yes, it's very small. They pay you interest. It's a very small percentage of interest that they pay for late refunds. But it's very true. Vicky, so the as of date has no relevance on the tax if the tax return hasn't processed yet? Basically. It's an internal date that the system sets for itself as a deadline. You can't read too much into it. That date can actually change. So, in that sense, it does have no relevance because they can change the date. Tiborafina asks, how long does it take a 151 for a refund to be processed. I'm assuming this is one of these offsets. It depends on what it's for. Sometimes it doesn't affect the timeline at all. Other times, if it's something that needs more verification, it could take a while. It's kind of different for every tax situation. So unfortunately, there's no set timeline for that. How are you on that? Okay, excellent. So we actually have more likes than we have watchers currently. Once again, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. We're glad to have you here. If you have not already liked the video, make sure you do so. And if you like what you see and you've viewed my previous videos and you find them helpful, feel free to hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. I have been covering the IRS for almost 10 years now, or actually over 10 years at this point. Crystal Hunter got the 846 code today. Wah, wah. Awesome. Quick question. How do you check your state tax? So whatever state you're in, you want to look for your state's Department of Revenue online, and most states would have an online system that you can check your refund. So, let's go back to my screen share here. Let's say that your state was North Carolina. North Carolina, that would be great. North Carolina. Then you could Google North Carolina DOR for Department of Revenue. You would see the DOR. Always make sure the page you go is a .gov page. Otherwise, you could be clicking a scam page, which you do not want to do. So always make sure that the state pages you're checking and that you're putting information on is a .gov page. That's how you know it's legit. You can go to the home page, and they would have somewhere where you could check a refund. So in this case, where's my refund? Like I said, I'm just using North Carolina as an example. And then you would just go through the process that you would go to follow the prompts to fill out all the steps. Check the status of your 2021 original income tax refund. Go to the next step, input your Social Security and the amount you're expecting on the refund. Hit submit, and it can give you the status. I hope that helps. Kiara Taylor, where's my refund tool hasn't updated yet? Between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. is when it will shut down to update. It does not shut down for 3 hours. It shuts down in that 3-hour time period. It will shut down in that three-hour time period for about 15 to 20 minutes to update. And if you have that 846 code, you're all set. You are definitely getting a direct deposit on March 2nd. So when the Where's My Refund tool does update, you should have the 2 bars and the March 2nd date. And even if it doesn't, you're still getting the refund on the March 2nd. You can totally take that to the bank. Literally take it to the bank because you will have money in your account. Zachary, one last question. Will the IRS mail a letter saying what's wrong with the returns? So they will. Typically, send a letter if it's going to be any length of time. They'll typically send a letter. almost always put a notice issued code on the transcript with like a hold of any sort, but sometimes they don't even bother sending the letter if it's something they could fix quickly. So it really really depends on what it's for. You would get a letter if it was for like an offset, or they've been sending out letters for people that have claimed something that they weren't supposed to claim. They've been sending letters for those too. But if it was something that was like a simple math error, they wouldn't even bother sending a letter. They would just correct it, release the freeze, and then do the refund. I'm not going to put to Darian Smith's comment up there, but congratulations on your direct deposit. On your date. I'm driving my wife crazy. She's a dork. Let's see. Okay. Sorry guys, just going through some of the comments. I'm always, I'm bouncing back and forth between current comments and then previous comments. It's current and previous. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth so I don't get too far behind. Crystal says the music is so relaxing. DJ Dana on the ones and twos. I was a mobile DJ back in the day. DJ'd a lot of weddings. Shay Clark wants to know if you receive your state, does that mean your refund is on the way? The federal and the state are two completely different systems, so two different timelines, unfortunately. Rodri Green wants to know what people are planning on doing with their refunds. I can tell you that we are going on vacation this summer. Family vacation. Joseph. I'm answering questions until sometime between now and when I'm completely out of gas. I am kind of tired. But as long as people are hanging out, I'm still hanging out. Sarah Ross, got your direct deposit date today on the transcript. Awesome. You'll see where's my refund update tomorrow. Tomorrow morning it will update. That's why we're here. Crystal Hunter is buying lots and lots of cheeseburgers. I'm buying lots and lots of Chick-fil-A. Maybe some Wingstop. Yes, Mrs. Marie says, bills and trampoline for the kids. I do remember you saying that before, too. Let them get out some of that excess energy. Just tell them to be careful. If we bought a trampoline for our kids, they're so rambunctious, they would bounce themselves from Boston to New York. My transcript is showing an A still. Why? That is because your return is not in the final stages of processing yet. Could be for a number of reasons. Maybe you got resequenced to the back of the line, or perhaps it is under review. No way to know for sure until it is available, unfortunately. You're in that sit and wait holding period. There is a number of people that is like that. Mrs. Marie's getting a safety net for the trampoline. Yeah, there's no safety net can contain my kids. They'd bounce right over it. Joseph wants to know what the easiest way to get a hold of the IRS is. Don't. There's no easy way. No easy way. No matter what you do, there is going to be a wait. And you're going to have to jump through hoops to talk to somebody. Liana wants to know where I live. Oh, I am in the Boston area, in Massachusetts. When I get tired, or maybe I have a few drinks, sometimes my Boston accent comes out, but I usually try to cover it up. Years of working in radio, they try to work that accent out of you. Sometimes I get tired and lazy of talking properly, and wow, Mrs. Marie, 6. Whew. We get our hands full with 3. 3 was enough. Love them to pieces. Couldn't handle much more than 3. Miami Lux wants to know how long it will take if one indicated that they did not receive the third stimulus. It seems like it's been varying from people to people. For most people, it's been a couple of weeks. If we were to go by last year, I would say you'd have to wait till the end of the tax season because they pushed all those people to the back that claimed the recovery rebate for the stimulus. But if it's something that's easily verifiable, it doesn't take that long this year so far. The problem is if you claimed the recovery rebate and you claimed another credit like the you used the look back for earned income credit. That combination seems to be the disaster combination. Liana, yes, it is nice and cold. We got some snow today. It's not a good day. 2 days ago, it was 60 degrees, sunny, felt like springtime. Today, it was snowy and icy. I have a 570 code next to the date of 2/28. Does that mean I am... What does that mean? And I already have the letter. Okay. You got the letter. That's good. I'm not sure what the letter said that you were on hold for, but the 2/28 is the deadline that the system set for itself automatically. It's an automatic internal date that the system set for itself to complete the review. If the review is not complete by that date, it's just gonna give you a new date. Alexis finally got the 571 and 846. Congratulations. Crystal wants to know if the refund is over $10,000. Could it be the reason it's taking so long? I can tell you that there's been plenty of people that have had large refunds that have been approved. But things that are making it be over $10,000 could be the reason it's taking so long. Say if there's certain credits you claimed that made it over $10,000, they could just be looking into those credits and making sure that you are actually eligible for them. Brittany Phillips says my 846 code is 3422, but the Where's My Refund site says a delay in processing. It should update. There is a big update tonight into tomorrow morning. Well, it's tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. In that time period, Where's My Refund will shut down to update. And everyone that has the 846 code should, in theory, get their 2 bars back with the refund date. So if there isn't a transcript, does this mean I have to wait until next week for processing? Correct. If you don't have a transcript available yet, you're going to have to wait at least another week. I hope they process mine so my family can go on vacation too. Well, I hope you get that refund soon. Jesse and Jessica, still no update on my transcript, but it shows 2 of them saying 2021, and the other 2 are NA. No movement. It's been 3 weeks. Yep. So when the other 2 become available, that's when you know you've posted the system for the final stages of processing. It's been 3 weeks, but if you've claimed earned income credit or additional child tax credit, your 21-day period you're still within that 21-day range technically, because that 21-day period does not start for PATH people until PATH lifts on February 15th. So if you claimed earned income credit or additional child tax credit, your 21-day waiting period didn't start until February 15th, technically. So give it some time. Hopefully by next week you see an update and you'll at least have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. If you don't see an update by at the end of next week, that's when you want to call. Then you're outside of that 21-day period. Okay, Kelly. Been delayed since June. Oh, until June. 3 years now you've been delayed until June. Wow. That's crazy. Anyways, you have the 571 and 971 code, but you did notice that your refund was more than you were expecting. Well, you don't have a refund issue code. You're looking at the account balance. That's what your refund would be. So is the account balance what you were expecting? That's my question. If that was more than you were expecting, that's the number you want to look for. Is the whatever would say the account balance is. That negative number is the refund. Herminia, have a good night. Transcripts update every Friday for the people with cycle codes ending in 05, which at this point of the tax season is like 90% of the tax filers. 85 to 90% of the tax filers would be an 05 cycle code, which means they're going to only update on Fridays for transcripts, and they would update on Saturday mornings for Where's My Refund, after those transcripts have reflected the 846 refund issue code. Mrs. Marie has some advice on how to get a hold of the IRS. I guess she didn't like my don't try because it's a nightmare call advice, but select 1, then select 2, then 1 again, then 3 again, then 2 again. It will ask you for your social security number twice. Don't put it in. Do not put it in. Hit 2 again, and then the last 2 the last time. I'm going to leave this up here so you can read that and write it down if you need to, or take a screenshot. Is there a certain time that the transcripts update? So every Friday at approximately 12 a.m. Eastern Time, there's a slow scroll of updates, with the biggest period of updates run from roughly like 3 or 4 a.m. all the way up through like 6 to 7 a.m. And then throughout the day, there's more and more updates sprinkled. So the update can occur anytime between like 12 a.m. all the way up until 5 or 6 p.m. on a Friday. That's when the updates occur. It's not like Where's My Refund, where it only updates once a day. The transcripts update throughout the day, with the biggest bulk of updates coming in the morning. Mike had a direct deposit date of February 24th, and you still haven't received anything. At this point, it's very likely that there was an incorrect number put in on the direct deposit information, and the bank may have rejected it. So you'd want to call your bank and find out if they received anything, or if they rejected anything that had your name but had a wrong bank account number. In that case, the money would get returned to the IRS, and then they would send the money to you via a paper check. You want to make a donation to the channel? I don't have Cash App. And for the people waiting on refunds, this is why I don't enable super chats on the live streams, because I don't want you guys giving up your money to me. I'm doing this to help you guys out. I don't want people taking money that they need for other things and giving it to me. You know, if I do streams for other things, maybe I'll enable super chat, but not for the tax refund stuff. For the most part, people watching my tax refund videos are because they need the money. And even if you don't need the money, there's better things you can do with it than giving it to me. If you want to support the channel, you can share it with your friends. You can like the videos. You can comment on the videos. You can subscribe. All that stuff helps push me up in the algorithm. Helps the monetization of the videos that I monetize. I don't monetize everyone, but most of them I do. And that's how I get supported, is through your viewership, which I greatly appreciate, everybody. Thank you so much. Christina got the update today with the 3-2 refund. Congratulations. Quick turnaround in that 570 code. I'm seeing some quick, there was a time when if you got a 570 code, it was like equivalent to getting like a death sentence on your refund. Like you were going to have to be on review for it seemed like it was almost always like 3 months or more. They've gotten pretty good at fixing the simple things. The more, I don't even want to say complicated. I feel like it's all pretty simple, but they're just so, they're so backlogged and they're so short-staffed. You never know how long it's going to take. So it's surprising. But a welcome surprise when you see people only have a 570 code for a week or two. Because it can be frustrating for you guys, I know. See a lot of people commenting that I'm so kind. I appreciate it, thank you. Simply Chow, what is a code 150? That just means that your return has posted to the system for processing. And on that same line, you will see your cycle code. And if the amount is 0, then you haven't finished processing yet, but there may be a dollar amount there. That is the amount of tax that's due for the year. That does not mean you owe the IRS money. In most cases, you've already paid almost all of that money and then some through your withholding at your job and the credits that you claim. which is why you get a refund every year. Joseph, is there a possibility that the transcript can update tonight? No, probably not. Like 99.9%, I'm going to say no. It's going to be at least a week. At least a week. Thank you for sharing the knowledge. Take it easy. Take it easy. Have a good night. If you're leaving, hope to see you back. And you're welcome. Charlotte Walker's sister's still showing in review. That's a bummer. Sometimes it's easier to gauge the timeline if you know why you're in review, but Crystal. Yeah, the account balance goes to 0 once the 846 code pops on your transcript. So until that before the 846 code is on your transcript, there's going to be a negative account balance in the top left-hand corner. Once the 846 refund issue code hits, then the account balance goes to 0 because on the bottom line of the 846, you're going to see a positive number which zeroes out your account. That's the money they're sending you. No reason to be confused. You're good. But there would be a negative number in the account balance for people that haven't finished processing yet. Joseph wants to know when I'll be back with more info or video. Well, if there's any major news I need to break, I'll come back either for a live stream or I'll put a video up. Other than that, I'll be posting probably a couple daily videos next week and likely be doing another watch party on Thursday night and Friday night for everybody that will be waiting for updates next week. Nacho wants to know, they put the wrong info in the child tax credit amount. What do I do? Womp womp. That's a bummer. That's definitely going to delay everything. Because it's not going to match what they have on file. So they can correct it. But you might get a hold placed on your return until they correct it. So they'll place a hold on your return. Could take a week or two. They'll fix it. And then they'll release the hold. Raider Nation, have a good night. And wow, I've been going for almost 2.5 hours, everybody. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think this is a good time to call it quits for me. I'm going to get some sleep. I have been up since pretty early this morning. So I hope everyone found the information helpful. Hope you got some of your questions answered. Hope people will see those updates tomorrow. If you haven't had access to your transcripts, I hope you see an update tomorrow on Where's My Refund. Otherwise, as I said, there'll be more live streams next week. We'll do this again for those of you that want to hang out again. Have a good night. Take care.